Hola, 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 beautiful people. It's me, Maris, and it's Thursday. And so that means that it's time for a Thursday energy forecast as well as that weekend preview. And I'm using the Gypsy Oracle cards today. These cards can sometimes be a little bit, well, I'm going to just say creepy. And you know what? Before we start rolling with those, let's do a smudge. Smudging is good. I've had kind of like a weird day, like stuck in traffic. Every time I'm in the car, I get stuck in traffic today. There was a 18-wheeler, a big old truck that had overturned on I-44 when I was coming into the city. So, alright, so here is your smudge. Let's see. So just take that smudge and bring it towards your face like that. Yeah. And then I'm going to smudge my hands. I love to smudge my hands before I play with the cards or have the cards. So I'm going to smudge those. And then smudge my mouth. Why would you smudge your mouth? Well, because I want the words that come out to be with integrity. And then just because he's been riding in the car and all that stuff and probably heard me cuss about the not really cuss, but I mean it was just like, man, car accidents, truck accidents. I know, it's Mercury already, isn't it? And I'm like, dang, it comes in always a day early. But I'm using these Gypsy Oracle cards. They tend to be, like I said, they're kind of creepy. I've used them where it was like everything came up. Anything that was in that card, it happened. And I'm like, oh, God. Because it wasn't like one of those really, manifestation, good things coming. It was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And it ended up being, yeah. So, we have smudged them because I'm like, yeah, we need a smudge. Okay, I guess you're supposed to be part of the action there. Let's see how many we get. But yeah, this deck I don't use very often in like public like doing a reading like this, because sometimes, all right, okay, we got several right there. Let's see if it kicks out anything else. Okay, all right, got one on the floor. Hold on, don't go anywhere. Let's take a look at these cards. Okay, and I have my little tarot spray here, so we're gonna spray. Yeah, because that first card I'm already like, oh. Okay, so the first card that we're looking at here is the prison card. I don't feel like anybody's going to jail. Per se, but I think it is an imprisonment of self, kind of like in between a rock and a hard place, being bound or chained to that, because that's what I pick up through there. It's kind of like being bound or chained to something. And so this card doesn't yeah, at least we see a light. And you said, how do you know that there's a light? Well, because there's a shadow. Whew. Okay, so yeah, that's just a little bit on the uncomfortable side. Now, the obstacle card is friend upside down. So, as I'm looking at this, what I'm picking up in there is that kind of like a falling out. Kind of like a falling out that is in evolution with that. So we've got that imprisonment. So we're going to say bad friendship. A friendship that has us bound and feeling like, again, I'm going to say that in between a rock and a hard place. And I'm just going to say it like this. This friendship needs to go anyway. It's a friendship that's very much one-sided. You're not going to get any tears, nor are you going to be crying any tears on this breakup of a relationship. And this breakup of a friendship is in evolution. So what I'm feeling is that you come to a realization that friendship isn't working. It is not synergistic. It is not a two-way street. In fact, going back to this imprisoned card, this relationship, this friendship has you bound. So this is like the friend that always needs you and wants something from you. And then when you're in a place of need, you can't find that friend. And you get to this point or this place where enough is enough with that relationship. Now, on a positive point, you actually work out very well from walking away from this relationship or friendship. This friendship has really put you into a place where you haven't been able to connect with other people. You haven't had a good time. They don't make you laugh. You spend your time entertaining them, but there's nothing reciprocated in that. And so walking away from that relationship, even though it's a long-time friendship, is going to be one of the best things that you can do for your mood. And actually, I like this when I'm looking at this now, because it's like, yeah, this friendship's had us in a rut. You know, you're not moving, you're not doing anything, you haven't expanded your mind, you're not, you've been in this, in between a rock and a hard place, and breaking away from that relationship, that friendship, breaking away from it allows you to open up your mind again and start seeing new things and learning new things. And I'm going to say this is an example of it. So let's say this friend that you've been in a relationship with for a while, you guys kind of split. Okay, so they go their way and you go your way. You actually have this opportunity to try new things. So if the only thing that they like to eat was pizza or sushi or something to that effect, and you're like, yeah, pizza's pretty good, I don't want to eat it every time I go out. Or sushi, really, I just went to the sushi place and ate fried rice because they like sushi. I think it's disgusting. When I look at this scholar card is telling me, oh yeah, so you get to try new things. You get to experience new things. You've been wanting to go to that Brazilian steakhouse. Guess what? You're going to go to that Brazilian steakhouse because you're no longer bound to the needs of another person or the desires of another person, that you're on your own path. They don't do very well with this. They do not do very well with this at all. In fact, I'm going to say it like this. They take it as a big breakup, like a romantic breakup. And you're over here going, but we were just friends. They didn't see it like that. This person saw you as a piece, and I'm going to use this phrase, they saw you as a piece of property. They saw you as something that was always, was like 7-Eleven, open 24/7. And now they don't have that 24/7 access, and they are, remember, they're the ones that were in the mind frame of that they owned you. They don't own you. They don't have anything. You were friends, and that friendship was abused, and now you walk away from it, and your life is totally different. And that's what this is telling me, that they are going to see this as almost like a detrimental romantic breakup. And you have to be very mindful of taking your stand of like, we were just friends. I don't know where you got this deep into the relationship, because it's kind of like, I didn't see that deepness in the relationship. But they're over here like, oh my God, you broke up with me. You left me. You deserted me. They're really not your enemy. And even though you feel a little bit of guilt to that, a little bit of, and when I say heartsick, I'm just going to say it like this, okay? You didn't miss the abuse, and you're not going to miss the abuse. You're going to miss the fact that you had somebody in your life. Even if they weren't the best person, you had somebody that was in your life. And there were moments and times that they made you feel so important and so needed. It just wasn't reciprocated. They didn't have the same need or ability to hold space for you when you needed it. They didn't have the ability for friendship when you needed it. That's the part that you miss. That's not the part that you miss. The part that you miss was those moments that you were needed, and those moments you felt important. And I'm gonna, what I'm looking in here is that, I'm gonna say it's a little bit of grief, and it's a little bit of remorse. The remorse is not about walking away from the relationship. The remorse is not for doing it sooner. You saw the red flags. You knew that they were there. You also saw that glimmer of hope, that glimmer of light that was within that person. And you cannot hold yourself accountable for the fact that they did not choose to move forward in their own path and become synergistic with the energy. We're not accountable for what other people choose to do. We're only accountable for what we choose to do and how we react to other people's choices. That's it. I can't make you do something. You can't make me do something. And when I'm looking at this melancholy card, this card is this remorse or this melancholy, this sadness for self that you, didn't really make that much of a difference in their life because they're not moving forward and choosing to be good people. But then also that remorse of that you were, stuck in the, what do they call those? Like the infantry on the front line, and they dig those foxholes, that you were stuck. And I'm going to just say kind of like in battle mode. And you're still a little bit in that battle mode. You're going to be feeling a little defensive about their going on and going deep into the fact that they feel like you devastated and you totally deserted them and left them. Okay, no, that was something that they made a choice on. They made a choice not to be synergistic with you. And you're going to feel like you need to carry that burden and carry that battle. It's not yours to carry. It really isn't. And in the end, things really kind of do work out. You do work through that. And it's really important to think about working through that ending that relationship. Yeah, there is going to be some grief. And yes, you're going to go through those, what is it, like the 5 steps in a breakup, or, in a major change in your life. And you're going to think about going back and being, refriending this person. Okay, the problem is that you have been under their thumb and not in their heart. Okay, they were utilizing you for the things that they didn't have that you had. And that's it. That's it. There's nothing else to that relationship. And it's really okay to walk away from that friendship. It's really okay to walk away from that friendship and work on healing that friendship that you have with yourself. That's the most important part out of this, is learning to heal yourself and learning to let go of those things that you can't change. You can't change other people. Not at all. And in this reading, it's saying that, yeah, you're going to come to this great realization, this great awakening, this wake-up call, that it's no longer conducive for you to be in that friendship. And I just want to remind you, it's going to be okay to walk away from it. They're going to throw a fit. They're going to make it seem like you just did these horrible things to them. You're going to feel guilt. That's the human nature. But you're going to also be able to work through that guilt and make really strong connections with other people and start, I'm going to say, networking some friendships, people that do value you and do think that you're pretty awesome. So I hope you enjoyed today's reading. Make sure you give it a big old heart. And then also, don't forget to do a cool comment. Let me know where you're watching from, what you liked about the reading, what you didn't like about the reading. These were the Gypsy Oracle cards. Yeah, sometimes, they can kind of have a really hard meaning, hard message. And I'm like, ooh, please show me some light. And, generally, there is a little light. So, peace and have a great day.